Hey everyone, Not So Slim Jim here doing a septic video. It's been a while. I actually don't do septic work anymore, but I was trained to do it and I did it for years, helping a buddy out. Don't worry, I'm not getting paid for it, so it's not illegal. But today we're going to be rebuilding a diaphragm style pump. You got to excuse me. We have chickens out here and it's a little windy, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, first thing you need to do is go to your control box, and there's going to be normally screws on it, so you have to loosen the screws and open up the box. Once you locate your breakers, this one has pump, aerator, and control. Aerator is going to be our aerator pump. We're just going to turn that off, and then the pump is de-energized and we can get started on the pump. All right, today we're working with a small Clearstream pump. Now this is going to be virtually identical for the Clearstream, the high blow 50, 75, 100. The parts may be slightly different in size, but the procedure is the same. First thing you're going to want to do is inspection of it. Make sure your rubber hose here is attached at the bottom. If this hose goes out, you don't have to buy the expensive stuff. Just go to Walmart and buy some of the clear hosing they have for fish tanks. It's the same size, and replace it, because if this goes out, your alarm for your aerator will keep going off in your pump. So we have a ground here, it's disconnected, so we're going to fix that. The ground in the back is good, but you know, if it's there, let's go ahead and fix it. So let's go ahead and take the air filter cover off and the top lid off. All right, on the high blows, there's going to be a overrun switch that's visible on top. On the clear waters, it's going to have to take this lid off. But as you can tell right here, the shuttle goes back and forth, and if it would focus, there's a little knob right there that hits this switch, and this switch, if it over travels, will knock out the way, disconnecting the power. So before you can rebuild it, you got to take this switch here and you move it back in the center position like that. And with a high blow, you'll see the same switch that sits right on top here. You just move it back in the center position so it hits the little toggle, and that way it will restart. If you rebuild it without doing this, it won't run. So I'm going to move this back down here now, and then we're going to take the bellows or the diaphragms on either side here, and we're going to go ahead and take the screws off on those. All right, next you need to take off your valves, which are going to be these guys. Sit on the outside with 4 Phillips head screws on both sides. These are what let air in but not out. So I have the old ones and the new ones. Then you're going to have these, which are actually what pull in and out. You have the old ones here, which, believe it or not, are not in horrible shape. But this one right here is what caused it to break. See that big break right there? When that happens, this is allowed to over travel, which kicks that switch out and shuts the pump off. So you're going to take yourself a ratchet, you're going to undo, you're going to push it out, undo one side, connect a new one, then push it the opposite direction, undo the screw on that side, which this one's still good. So I'm going to give this back to the customer so he can keep a spare. Undo it, put the new one on. Then you can take the new valves, make sure they're completely clean, no grass or anything in there because it's a little dirty out here. Put these on. Now everything just goes to hand tight. Nothing gets overly torqued because you don't want to squish the heck out of the gaskets that run around the seal here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. All right, with the clear water ones, the bellow here has a little lip, as you can see on the corner here, that sits inside of a little recess. So when you put these in, make sure you line up the tabs with the tabs in the machine, and you have to go around and press this lip into the little recess around it and make sure it's flush all the way around. And after you make sure everything's good and tight, and it's easiest to do this when you have it in a neutral position so it's even on both sides, you can take the new valves, put them on, and screw them down. Like I said, not overly tight because it's plastic and you don't want to overdo these seals here, but just down to what we call Guten tight. All right, so here's something I noticed for the high blow kit that might, or I'm sorry, for the clear water. So normally the overall gaskets included in the valves. The high blow kit has the little foam gaskets separate. So make sure you pull these out of the gasket kit and install them before you put these on. All right, once you get the unit all back together, you make sure that your breakaway switch is in the center position, everything's tightened back down. If you just had your system pumped, don't turn it on all the way yet. Make sure if your system's pumped, you turn on your bathtub, let it run for 3 to 4 hours of cold water to make sure that there's liquid in the pump. But you can turn your power back on, make sure it turns on and runs properly. If not, double check your breakaway switch. This one I just tested and it works, but because the owner of the system just had it pumped out and they don't have water in the system yet, I have it back off. Then when you're done, you're going to take your, we call this a diaper. Make sure you got all the grass and all the junk off of it. It can go back around. You're going to get your new filter. Once again, you're going to, make sure it's clean. You're going to put your top back on. So I'm going to get that going. Then we're going to go over some maintenance procedures. All right, let's talk about maintenance for a minute. So you have your filter. Once a month, you want to take this out, go to your garden hose, clean it out, squish all the water out of it, whip it around a little bit, get it like as dry as you can, put it back. Then, if I put it on the right way, the big problem about these is ants like heat and vibration. So what you want to do is take some Amdro once a month, put it around your pump, because ants will climb up in here, get through all this, get down in there. They get into the diaphragm of your pump and they cause it to overheat and you get stuff going back and forth, and it causes these to go out really quick. So make sure you put some ant killer, some Amdro, something around the base of this once a month, especially during the summer or the winter. Not as bad, but still good to do when you clean out your air filter, and that it will extend the life of your pump and make it so your rebuild cycles 2 or 3 times longer than normal. So after you get that on, if your kit comes with the new gasket for the lid, make sure the new gasket's on properly, which I just kind of messed mine up. Get all of the debris and everything out of it. Trying to do this one hand, it's fun. Lid back on, screw this one, like I said, I'm going to fill with water. Go ahead, turn it back on, and voila, your pump is rebuilt.